Yo, what's good, my Quick Crypto family and my Coin Factory family? We're back again with your Casper Crypto live stream. And I say it all the time now, and it's actually starting to frustrate me myself, but I am very, very sorry. Full disclosure for those who are watching and tuning in right now, I'll make an announcement in the Discord server later today or tomorrow. I'm having a lot of trouble in my personal life right now. I don't want to delve too deep into it. But as such, content creation has become increasingly difficult for me, in particular this week. This week is going to be a very, very hectic one. I've got a wedding to go to on Friday. That's all well and good, but there are other matters taking place right now that has made it very difficult for me to continually show up, enjoy being here. I love talking to you all here every single day, but it's been tough for me to find the time right now. I've got a lot going on, and the family matters aren't helping much either. I'm not going to bore you all in this stream doing so and talking about it. I'll be providing as many updates as I can do, and I'll probably address it in my community later on. But we don't want to dwell on that too much. What we want to talk about right now is the current market sentiment, what's happening, what's going to happen soon, and ultimately the title of this stream, which states that Casper KII and the White House will cause Casper explosion next month. Now, we are looking more and more optimistic for next month. The market's starting to recover quite well. Bitcoin is hovering just below 115k, which we have highlighted already as being a critical level of resistance and support for Casper. Not for Casper, for Bitcoin even. If we could hold above 115k, that'd be fantastic, and therefore a good possibility that Bitcoin will start trading between 116 to 120k zone again, and hopefully therefore making that move upwards. In regards to Ethereum, we're currently seeing, the start of an altcoin cycle of such. Ethereum currently at 3.7k, up 6% today, which is fantastic. Great stuff as such. Altcoins across the board are doing very, very well. You've got Naka up 3%, you've got Say up 7%, you've got Sui up 3%, Casper up 5.21% on the daily time frame. Fantastic stuff right now. And I want to highlight something real quick, which again is it's something I mentioned in yesterday's stream. Everyone has their own metrics, their own tools. I have highlighted recently, I do occasionally use the fib retracement, and I didn't use for Casper, but I'm going to show you it right here and now. If you take the trend line from the bottom down here and draw the fib retracement up to the top up here, you can see that, at least for me, how I've drawn it out, it does seem to work. Casper found support at the golden pocket at 0.618 at 8.25 cents. And currently is facing a lot of resistance at 0.5, the 8.95 cents. So again, it's not a crystal ball. Nothing's a crystal ball, but it's an indicator alongside some others that I do tend to use if I'm also trading. If I'm trying to, I don't trade Casper, so that's why I don't use fib retracement for Casper very often. But if I do trade Casper, I'll probably use it a little more often. Fib retracement right now, we can see that it does seem to work with quite decent accuracy, showing therefore that Casper, went up and it's now going through a corrective cycle. It's come to the golden pocket. Therefore, Casper is currently going through a bit of a reversal. If it can continue in this fashion, Casper will hopefully and likely push towards the 14 cents, even maybe the 15.5 cents, which again does align with the zones we've talked about already in these streams. We'll have to wait and see where it goes from here. Of course, the tough zones that we need to break out of, most definitely, would be the peak here at 11.8, almost 12 cents, and equally up here at 13 cents as well. We'll see, hopefully that happens in the next couple of weeks. I think August is going to be an interesting time. The sentiment in the market is starting to already show a bit of a recovery, which is fantastic. We have got some macro news, some good and some bad, and then we have got some interesting news regarding Casper. The big post is regarding this post here from the KII, not the KII, from Cas Media even, where Jennifer, shout out to Jennifer, who is the author of this article, a 23-minute article, which I'm not going to talk all 23 minutes about it, but give a summary of it. It basically gives a rundown of the new White House crypto report and ultimately how significant it is for Casper. Why the KII and Casper, why the White House are effectively going to help Casper soar in value, and it could start as early as next month. And then continue from that point onwards going into Q4, seeing a sort of late cycle top explosion like you see with the likes of Solana, like the likes of AVAX, and so on and so forth. So that being said, please family, I love you all. Bear with me this week. This week's going to be a tough one for me. I'll be as frequent and as active as possible. As it stands right now, I think I might have to cancel tomorrow's stream, but I'll keep you all posted. There should be a stream probably late Wednesday, later than usual, so probably around similar time today. Thursday should be fine. Friday will be impossible most likely, and this weekend I'll let you all know. Hopefully though, starting next week, starting Monday the 11th, things should be back to normal and we go back to streaming every single day. But of course, once more family, I will keep you all posted. And if you enjoy this content either way, my almost daily live streams, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Greg, brother, welcome back again, my man. First indeed. Hope you having a great day so far, my man. And you too, Dimitar, what's up, brother? Future Crypto Elitist here. Great to have you back again. Last month to accumulate at these prices, and honestly, you may be right. You know, we say it time and time again, it feels almost like a broken record, but I do believe right now, as I do say repeatedly, that we are getting to that position where it seems increasingly likely that the time is almost here, if you will, where the market's about to go through that move. Again, as you're looking at the M2 money supply, another relatively accurate indicator, you've got to understand right now that Bitcoin follows the supply, the M2 money supply, not 100%, not one-to-one. It's got 80 to 90% correlation, so it's quite accurate. And what it showcases to us here is that Bitcoin was following it, and it's driving off right now. Currently, I've got it on a 15-week delay. It can go from anywhere from 10 to 15 weeks. But you've got to understand right now, this is an indicator that indicates the amount of money in the global economy that will inevitably or should likely start going into on-risk market. But because there's been so much uncertainty in the economy right now due to tariffs, due to trade war, due to the bad macro news, due to the Fed, the on-risk market is seen as too risky. Hence why Bitcoin has been delaying in its pump. But if I'm honest, I would actually personally highlight this not to the 15-week delay, but more so probably to the 90-day, which is about 12.5-week delay, which does showcase that Bitcoin is delaying right now by quite a bit. But once the sentiment is back and the strength and the belief in risk on assets is back, which for me it's going to happen, you'll see Bitcoin catch up, go to 130k, and then catch up going towards 150k in this cycle, provided it does follow the M2 as it has done throughout history, as you can see here. You see throughout history where Bitcoin has followed it quite diligently since 2024. Since Institution took over, Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin has followed it almost one-to-one. Look how scarily accurate that is. That's why we use an indicator, because it has got a good accuracy. Now, of course, we can see from the market chart, because Ethereum's doing very, very well. Bitcoin dominance has fallen off today. It is still above that trend line, though. If you go below that trend line, then I think you'll see a big, big rally for the altcoins. We've still got some very big catalysts. We did cover that briefly today with the VIPs, talking about what to look out for, which is in short term regarding yields and regarding ETFs and stablecoins. Those are the three things institutions are looking at right now. Again, more information provided in the VIPs in due time. If you want to find out more ahead of time, then check out the VIP as well. 7-day free trial. Let's get into more of the questions before we get into the content for today's stream. Welcome back, Packard bro. Things can go faster than we think. And I believe that as well. Yeah, things will happen faster than we suspect. The market will likely just start taking off when you least expect it and start running quickly in value. Sup QC, hope things get better, less stressful on your end. Hope the family stuff is as good as it can be. Thank you very much, Greg, for the kind words. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know, I think it's a typical saying. Everything is fine, but it's just, unfortunately, I have to take a bit of a step away from my usual enthusiastic, very, very engaged. Even the community in the Discord community, I feel bad. I've not been as active in the community either. And it does bother me, really. But I just haven't had the time because I have so much stuff going on. And I don't like saying it as an excuse, but I understand when people say that now. Hopefully, yes, it will be resolved very soon. I'm hoping this week will be that week that it's just kind of all, you know, bees and flies in your ear, kind of just overwhelmed, and then things will come back to normal next week. But thank you very much, dude. I do appreciate you, Greg. Welcome back, Miko. Good morning, Future Millionaires. Indeed. Future Millionaires, indeed. I think if you do a face cam, it will push Casper to all-time highs in one night. I mean, don't tempt me. Welcome back, Falco, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well, my man. Check Bitcoin dominance. I have checked Bitcoin dominance just for now. Casper dominance, and we can do it, compare the two. Of course, Casper to Bitcoin dominance. Casper will start running a little bit today off the back of its price up 5% to Bitcoin's 0.72%. again, will it completely flip and Casper go back to being the most dominating factor? We'll have to wait and see. I think it's possible. You've got a while to wait still. But this cycle could be, I think the next few months you'll start seeing Bitcoin eventually rallying, maybe going to that 130k, but Casper comparatively could go up to 20 cents and not higher. Who knows? Welcome back, Justin X Crypto, Casper baby, indeed. Next pump 14 cents. I mean, yeah, and according to the Fibber tracing we just showcased, it does seem to be suggesting that the next zones for Casper seems to be around the 14.2, 14.1 cent zone here, and equally above to the 15.6 as well. Again, not the crystal ball, but it's still a good indicator that we can see how it's, you know, panned out. The accuracy of what's happened so far in the rallying up here, and the small little pullback we saw right here, which came down to the golden pocket and is now trading between it. And hopefully it'll break above it, and if it breaks above it, then you'll see again Casper push up higher in value. And hopefully if it does respect this, continue going up, and then continuing, you know, forming that higher high pattern we were talking about, that I hope it will form alongside its higher low pattern is forming right now. Higher lows here, hopefully, and for the higher highs, you know, ideally going up there as well. If Bitcoin reaches 115k today, can you end the stream? I mean, it's hit it right now. Bitcoin's already hit 115k, so I could end the stream right now, but I've only been live for about 10 minutes, and I feel bad for also being so late. So I'll do you all sort of not end the stream straight away. But Bitcoin right now is, you know, juggling between 115k. As long as Bitcoin can end today and close today above 115k, that'll be a very, very good sign. Any predictions for Solana's price? I've not looked too deeply into Solana, but I'm sure you'll see it go up a lot higher, passing all-time highs due to all the institutional adoption of ETFs. You'll see the cycle as well. Welcome back, Churf, bro. Make no apologies. The amount of time you spend in this community is not taken for granted. Keep up the good work, but always take care. Keeping your life in order. Thank you very much, brother. I really do appreciate it. I will still apologize because I don't know, even though I'm here every day, I feel like I'm doing you all a disservice by not being here at times. I know I shouldn't feel like that, and I do honestly respect and appreciate all of you for being here every day and your kind words to, I guess, almost keeping me going, which I thank you all for. But I'll always try my best to do right by all of you here and keep this community together in our conviction. If I'm not here, it's not because I'm not convicted in Casper or anything like that. It's because I've got personal matters that I just can't get away from. But thank you very much indeed, keeping me in my prayers. I appreciate it very, very much, brother. Hopefully Casper $2 like this, you'll find it in the stream and enjoy your life in Dubai. Honestly, yeah, $2 Casper be very, very nice. Welcome back, LB, bro, on the check-in, brother. And welcome back, Double D, as well. The Wallet 2, give him 10 mil Casper. Oh, Charles Wallet 2. Oh, perfect. Great to see. Welcome back, Double D, though. Hope you're doing very, very well. And you to Buffalo as well. And you to Don Carlos. All the regulars back here once again. I appreciate you all very much for being here, tuning into the content. And we'll get into it straight away. We can see right now, Casper, according to CMC, has already got 69 million 24-hour trading volume. 2.37 billion market cap, again around 41 on CMC. Still dominated by the likes of Gate at 34%, Mexi at 9%, BitGet at 6%, Bybit at 8%. We highlight this purely because for anyone who's new watching, we heard from the KF back in November 10th, 2024, so, you know, about 9 months ago now, that the tier 1 exchanges who were talking with Casper, they were highlighting that what they want to see with Casper is high volume on the big tier 1 exchanges. So Casper right now has got low volume, 69.5 mil. But you're seeing right now also with the exchanges, the big exchanges they highlight is Bybit, BitGet, and Kraken. Kraken's always been low. Frustrating, of course. Bybit and BitGet a while back was sitting at 30-40%, which is fantastic, but now it's down low again. If the volume for these exchanges stay quite low, when you see a spike in these exchanges for these, the volume for the exchanges, that's for me a potential indicator that may highlight tier 1s are getting ready. So I'm just keeping an eye on that. That's why we keep talking about it every single stream as well. In regards to other projects as well, because it's also talking about Octa and Zbcn as well. Zbcn is currently down 0.72%. It's currently trading around this support here of around the 0.0051. And again, I'm hoping right now the market is still in this trend for Zbcn of higher lows and higher highs, meaning that Zbcn will hopefully make this push above, going towards this probably 0.0065 in the coming days. Again, it depends on the market sentiment and the macro news as well. In regards to Octaspace, as we highlight that as well, Octaspace is currently, should really have this preloaded, honestly. Octa Space right now is currently up 7%. And the reason why is because of their recent announcement. Which shouts out to, it is, the name's almost with me, an individual who has been talking about Qubit recently. I still don't hold Qubit, not looked into it. The name's escaping me. I'm sure he's going to be in the stream soon enough and also comment, and I know exactly who he's talking about. But basically, Octaspace has just made a new post here. Being early was never an issue when using Octaspace. QTC, which is Qubit, one-click mining is officially live on a decentralized marketplace and world first. So you can basically mine Qubit now with Octaspace, which is really, really cool. When it stops debuffering, you can see here, mining, you can click on Qubit. We click on the miners here as well, with Octaspace as well. And you can configure it to mine Qubit as well, which Qubit has been doing apparently very, very well recently. It's still not on CMC, so you can't really see it, or CoinGecko, but, you know, according to, the name's escaping me still. I can't remember who it is. I apologize, brother. I know, as soon as the message comes through, I know exactly who it is. I just can't remember who it was that messaged it. But yeah, he's apparently like up 5 or 10x on Qubit right now, a Qubit coin. So again, great stuff to see all around. And I think Octaspace right now have been cooking. They're becoming more interoperable, which I think is a very, very big deal. Again, I think interoperability is a big, big feature that is important for cryptos. If you can be interoperable with other projects, that'll help your survivability and gives you a stronger chance of doing well as well. So Octaspace are cooking right now, you know, kind of working alongside Qubit. And I see more of that coming through. That's why Octa's doing very well today. I think Octa does need to regain that 45 cent zone though, ideally. If you look at Octaspace right now, you want to draw a fib retracement as well. We could also do that. Take from the trend line down here to up here. We can see it did just lose the golden pocket, but it's now trading between that again. So I hope to see Octa again, if it could surpass 44 cents. Next will probably be around 47 cents, as highlighted here. Evidently another key level of support. If you draw out the horizontal line here as well, you can see on a number of occasions where it has seen some support or rejection here as well. And then push up towards 58 as well. Again, just why we do the fib retracement is just another good indicator that I have been using. I'll talk about a bit more as well. What is a Qubit? It's something that is not very well known. It's or how to Octaspace here is another proof of work. Apparently quantum proof of work. Apparently the dev team is being doxed, so that people know who they are. Apparently they're fair launch as well. I've not looked too much into them, so I don't know myself. There's an individual who has tuned in the past few days, who is a regular in this community, and I don't know why I can't remember his name. It's really frustrating me now. I can literally see the names, but I can't say it out. Who's been talking about Qubit the past 3 or 4 streams, and he got in quite early. He's up like 5x. Again, it's a risk, small asset to do your own research, but it's seemingly doing quite well, so great for that. Now, in regards to the news, we've got right now some interesting stuff in the stock market. Seen 1.1 trillion added, which is absolutely insane. Crypto's also doing very, very well as well. We can see S&P 500 right now had a very strong recovery after its dip the past few days. Currently back up almost near all-time highs again, which is fantastic news. So evidently trade war has not been too concerning, although in saying that, seems to be something going on right now with Trump once again, where apparently Trump now going to raise tariffs on India because they don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by Russia. So evidently Trump is using apparently, according to Trump, he's using the tariffs as a negotiation tactic or a scare tactic, in a sense, to force India to not provide aid in the, I guess, the sense they're talking about it, to Russia. Which again, that could be a cause for concern, but evidently the markets right now don't seem to care about that. I don't think it was Alan So. It was Art Zero. It was Art Zero. That's who it was. Thank you. It was the AI needed. It was Art Zero who mentioned about Qubit. I literally knew it. It was right there. Art Zero, I believe, was the one who talked about Qubit, which has done, again, exceptionally well. You can't see it on CMC or CoinGecko. But, I mean, I wonder if I can do it. QTC USDT. Is that even... That's not the right one I'm looking for. I don't see it. Maybe it's not available on exchanges right now. But we'll find out, I'm sure, Moon soon. Yeah, so we got other stuff here. This is one reason why I think next month's gonna be very, very big as well. The rate cut odds in September have now surged massively off the back of Jerome Powell's meeting and off the back of the bad PCE inflation data and also the job report data. Before the job report data, it was about a 40% chance of us seeing rate cuts in September, but after the job report data came out, it went from like 40% to 60%, and now it's up to 90%. Up to 90%. So again, this is just community speculation. This could easily shift over the coming days and weeks going into September, but September 17th is the FOMC meeting, and right now it's a strong belief we're going to see at least one rate cut then. And that will be, a very, very big deal, especially considering you're going to see the Clarity Act likely passed there as well. And you also see Casper smart contracts coming out as well. All that sort of stuff is very, 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 very big. So I'll get to this stuff in a moment. So let's get into some Casper content first and foremost, actually. So I wanted to get into this first post quickly regarding Casper from Casper Silver here, highlighting again new big things coming. Social media platform being built for Casper here. The K is coming, and a back and forth here between Ghost Band and Casper Silver here, which is again, both I think arguments are valid, but I think also, of course, me being a Casper supporter, I'm more aligned with Casper Silver here. Ghost Band, someone who's saying that Casper is already dead in the water before, or at least the not Casper per se, but at least the Casper network, the social media platform, was already dead before it launched. And Casper Silver saying here, you and I both know that you're going to be on the K social media platform, warning us all of the security budget is doing or supporting our security budget. And he just says, I know that no one would choose to pay using Casper every time they use a Casper social media platform to make a post, and that both you and I are already here on Twitter, not paying X anything to do so. Maybe he's not, but Casper Silver technically is by having the blue check mark, so he is paying for it. I think it's like $11, $12 a month or something like that. And he says most people pay a ridiculous amount of money for the check mark, which he has done as well. And with the K social media platform, with 8 cents at the current price, would let you send over 50,000 messages. And his Twitter account right now doesn't even have 10K since 2023, which is again just the big. I understand the concern about the whole people don't want to spend their Casper to use social media, and I get that, but it's not a ridiculous amount of Casper you're using. It's a very, very small sum. And it's going to keep everything within everything more decentralized. People who value privacy of information and privacy of data, they'd come to Casper, being decentralized in that element. So I think for me, it's interesting. You see these debates going on more and more, and you're seeing again more developments come to Casper, which is very, very important. Speaking of which, Zeal also doing fantastic right now. They've had 4.8 million swaps so far, which is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane stuff right now. So Zeal are, I guess, popping off all through the cashback testnet, and they'll be, of course, going live through IGRA Labs testnet very, very soon. I think the IGRA tokens I know at least with Wolfie, IGRA tokens are starting to be distributed right now. So those, just as a public announcement, I guess, those who are already partaking or have pre-allocated IGRA tokens due to through Wolfie. Wolfie already made an announcement about it, but you need to go and contact Crypto Ninja to help yourself get set up to confirm your pre-allocated tokens. But you're doing Zeal Steam, amazing stuff right now. What we are seeing right now is a testament to what's being built with Casper, continual growth, more developments, and that's all on testnet, by the way. I'm moving the testnet from the 30th of May, June, July. So we've currently got 2 and a bit months. So in 2 and a bit months, you've seen 4.8 million swaps. That is pretty impressive, truth be told, on a testnet. So mainnet, you'll see a lot more taking place as well, ideally. And you'll see a lot more coming to Casper in the future as well, courtesy of Jennifer here. Casper Media. Our very own Jennifer wrote an article highlighting the key components of the new White House crypto report and its significance for all Caspians and Cas holders. You won't want to miss this one. Amazing work, Jennifer. This article here is honestly just full of gems. I've taken the liberty of reading through the whole thing, 23 minutes of it, and basically highlighting some key points so we don't get bored by me reading through a 23 long article. I would highly recommend reading through all of it. It's very, very insightful. I'll link it in my community after the stream. But there are some key points that's highlighted here. Of course, we know about Casper, the blockchain technology, how great it is, of course. But what's also interesting is a number of factors. One is commodity, where it highlights here, Casper is considered as a commodity. The report, the crypto report that Bytehouse published, urges the SEC and CFTC to coordinate efforts to enable the trading of digital assets by amending current rules and providing comprehensive regulatory clarity. One legislative proposal is the House of Representatives Digital Asset Market Clarity Act. So the Clarity Act, the bill recommends granting the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, so CFTC, explicit authority over spot markets for non-security digital assets, while both the SEC and CFTC restraints to operate multiple business lines under streamlined licensing frameworks. Probably push that a little bit. Point being is, the White House crypto report basically highlighted the CFTC and SEC need to come together and agree on, I guess, the exact nature within the Clarity Act, giving clear guidelines to the whole world on what clarifies as a community, what clarifies as a commodity, what's a security, and who's in charge of what. And if you're under the CFTC, you are by and large in a lot better position because you are therefore considered a commodity, and therefore you have less regulatory scrutiny, less, issues, if you will. If you're under the CS, if you're being regulated under the SEC, they're more restrictive. Even this new SEC, which is better right now, they're still more restrictive. You got more to prove that you're being your security, but not doing things in bad faith, effectively. Now, in regards to Casper, while Casper is clearly classified as a commodity under US laws, we look forward to regulatory clarity in the United States for the many KYC tokens, NFTs, DEXs, and other applications. So the Clarity Act is huge, not because Casper evidently being fenced like Bitcoin is a commodity, but the Clarity Act would therefore indirectly mean that everything within Casper's project was being built in a decentralized manner would also have that regulatory clarity as well, which would bring more adoption to the Casper protocol as opposed to the Casper coin in itself, which would be a very, very big deal. So that's one element that I think is huge news. Casper being considered as a commodity token or coin under the US law, and therefore it would be under the CFTC jurisdiction, not the SEC, which would be very, very good. Of course, Casper being decentralized as well, it has no, it does have some things that could be cause for concern to some institutions and governments. The fact that it has no centralized authority, which is good, but also some companies and centralized authorities would like that, so they know who to go to. It has no built-in anti-money laundering or mechanisms or stuff like that. And it also has other stuff here that I think is very important. So that's just one element, which, again, this is why I'm very bullish for September, because to my knowledge, if I type it in right now, Clarity Act Senate decision vote, that should be coming through, or that already just came through. Next vote, I should put. It should be in September, if I'm not mistaken. It should be September. I believe it's sometime in September. I'm trying to find the exact date right now. So looks like. Apologies, I should have looked this ahead of time. I can't say anything. Okay, I'm 90% sure it's September. I'll try and find an actual date and let you all know in the coming days or so. But the Clarity Act has been voted on and has passed through the bill quite in a bipartisan manner, which is fantastic news for us, truth be told. And we'll see that blossom into hopefully the passing of the bill, which will create clear guidelines for securities and commodities, and therefore more guidelines for Casper as well. Then we get into the next big part of this article here. Shout out to Jennifer again, talking about Casper's opportunities, its future developments and whatnot, such as the KRI and elements like stablecoins, for example. So we can see here, KUSD. Casper is a decentralized federal ecosystem with no central authority and no built-in AML CFT mechanisms. The absence reflects a commitment to user freedom and privacy. However, as stablecoins like a possible KUSD are developed for potential use in the United States or international finance, regulatory compliance will likely need to be considered. So, what's it talking about here? Well, it's talking Casper-related recommendations based on the White House Digital Asset Report. So what could Casper do based on what the White House reported on? Well, you could potentially develop a KUSD stablecoin. So issue a Casper stablecoin backed one-to-one by US dollars and short-term treasury securities, which ensures it complies with AML CFT requirements to align with regulatory expectations. That's one thing that Casper can and might even do. I think the KRI are already working on an element around that, in the sense that they have their Gigawatt stablecoin, which, as I load up the document right now with the Gigawatt, they talk about, trying to remember exactly what it was. It was Gross, I believe it was. Gigawatt stablecoin, they have a thing, again, brain's going for me right now. Yeah, Gross, it is that, right here. Again, this is why I'm happy I have my community, so I can find information very, very quickly. This was published back in April. So even then, it's like 4 months old. I have to find it very quickly here. So Gigawatt stablecoin moving forward. KRI have designed the Gigawatt Stablecoin Regulatory Oracle System, or GROS, a decentralized compliance framework to enable the Gigawatt stablecoin to maintain regulatory compliance across multiple jurisdictions while preserving its core principles of decentralization and censorship resistance. So it basically, as I did read on at some point as well, it basically offers optional AML as opposed to mandatory. So institutions can utilize the AML elements while, I guess, those who don't want to be restricted on those restrictions can still have the decentralized element of it. So this is what KRI are building. Now, this is not necessarily going to be one-to-one backed by the US dollar, but you could potentially create a similar system like the KRIs with Gross with a KUSD that would align in the White House report as well, giving Casper therefore better value, if you will, or stronger support by the US government, which would be great. Talked about insurance industry collaboration. So we talk about the KRI, the insurance pilot with the US insurance firms. Remember, the KRI did speak to the SEC Crypto Task Force and basically the White House a few months back as well about taxonomy, which was highlighted here, or the taxation element as well. Ultimately, what this document goes into, detail about the opportunities to talking about the KII and the significant impact. The Clarity Act will be very, very big, and combine that with what the KII are already doing just sets Casper up very, very nicely to see a lot more significant increasing adoption. You got the KUSD potential or the developing of KUSD, KRI insurance pilot programs. You got the apparent something about they've got legal classification letter, so obtaining an opinion letter from the US licensed attorney that affirms Casper's classification as a commodity under US law enforcing CFTC jurisdiction. You could potentially launch PQC task force, which is post quantum cryptography. So talking about basically making Casper more quantum resistant if possible, and then also collaborating with other pilot DLT based innovations. So these are the, I guess, recommendations, as you highlight here, that what, based on the White House report, that Jennifer highlights that Casper could end up doing, and ideally should end up doing, and probably already being done for the likes of KRI, to basically become even increasingly more aligned to the White House and the US's vision of how crypto should be regulated and compliant in the United States. Casper already has the benefit of being a commodity because it's a fair launch like Bitcoin, but it can become increasingly more sought out after by governments and institutions if it follows or tries to adhere to these 5 things as well, which this might seem like an issue, but again, just highlighted the KRI have found a workaround, so you could do something very similar here as well. Stuff like collaborating with other DeFis, I mean, you're seeing that kind of happen a little bit in a sense, like Octa kind of collaborating with them as well. But collaborating with like banks, fintechs, and payment processors, like, could be good. I mean, again, the KRI are going to be a big part of that, I'm sure, as well. But they are doing it. But it's trying to find that balance between helping and collaborating and not becoming centralized, or not being controlled by centralized authorities, from keeping true to your decentralized mannerisms. But I thought it was a very, very interesting article. I definitely skipped over some very, very key features, I'm sure. I highly recommend everyone tune in and watch it if you can, read through it if you can do. 23 minutes of your time just reading through what's talked about here. But it's a very, very interesting article that Casper Media posted here that just go into detail about, again, the White House Control Report and what it could potentially mean for Casper. And ultimately why I go back to the title of the stream being that September will be big, because explosion next month, right? Right now we're seeing Casper doing very well, up 6%, above 9 cents. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff, of course. We want to see it continue doing that. Now, if we do get no rate cuts in September, even better for altcoins. If we do get rate cuts in September, ideally even better for altcoins. At that point, 31st of August, Casper smart contracts for Casper will be out. So you see smart contracts out for Casper, rate cuts happening 17th of September, Clarity Act coming out as well, and the KI pilot programs will happen in Q4, which is October, November, December. So that's going to happen after September. So, as it stands right now, I would argue, based on the current information we have on hand, that this month might be again, hopefully not a too negative one. If you look at how July was for Casper, July was started here. July ended here in the end. So we were only up, about 20%, give or take, or even less than that. Right now, we are starting into August. August 1st started here. So we're currently up a little bit in August. So we're doing better in August already, which is fantastic. I hope that in August, Casper can... I think I'm optimistic and I believe that Casper will likely, again, probably get no uncertain reactions in the market and whatnot, and tariffs, and the whole geopolitical tensions and whatnot. I'm optimistic that Casper could hopefully rally to its 14 to 15, if not even higher, going into September, because again, the smart contracts will be out, and we saw what happened with Casper on the announcement of smart contracts, the confirmation date. So when it actually comes out, while there's a possibility by the rumour saw the news top event, there's also the understanding that with smart contracts coming out, Casper's the gas fee. So if people want to use the Casplex smart contract as Casplex layer 2, they have to use and burn Casper. Well, not burn Casper, use Casper's transactions as a gas fee, and which will be mined by the miners, which will therefore create more demand for Casper to have it and use it. So that could end up resulting in a higher price, which I know crypto has already mentioned in the past. So I think that August could still be a good month for Casper, leading into September, which I think could be, at this current moment in time, looks like a very, very strong month, being the fact that you'll see, therefore, continual adoption and stuff regarding smart contract. You'll see stuff for IGRA as well, I'm sure, coming out as well. You'll also then see, hopefully, the Clarity Act passed sometime in September, alongside rate cuts, hopefully September as well, and then going into Q4, October to November, December, the KRI will be launching their projects, the enterprise projects. You'll see IGRA's smart contracts come out as well. And to take a moment to remind you of some other projects, some other very big projects, just again to kind of build your conviction. Look at Cardano. Number 10 went down CMC. Cardano had one of the most impressive runs of rallies of any crypto last cycle, despite the project, in my belief, not being a good one. Personally believe it. I believe it's a good project. It went up from as of November 2020, a $1 billion market cap. 1 year later, or September of 2021, went to 93 billion market cap. So 93x in a little under a year. And this was mainly driven by the belief of smart contracts coming out. And smart contracts came out here, just after the peak. That does not mean that Casper is going to therefore peak and reach a top of sorts, and then Casper smart contracts come out and they're going to just dump. I don't believe that. Not with IGRA also coming out as well, so more smart contracts coming out, and then KRI as well. But I do think you could see a rally and firmware ahead of smart contracts. And then think about the other major catalysts that could come through. Your tier 1 listings, your stablecoins launching on Casplex because of the KEF who are talking to USDC and USDT. So I think, again, the document here, which I very rashly and rubbishly glossed over due to, again, I apologise, this is probably the best stream to be watching into. I'll promise I'll get back into the flow of things in the coming days, hopefully. But the document here, which I will repost from Jennifer, I think was very insightful, and again, just highlighting the important catalyst still to come out. Casper explosion could be likely because all the major catalysts are coming in. It's month on month right now. One thing I want to highlight in regards to maybe what the market. If you look at Casper's chart, since we first started streaming back here, I made a video on this already. You saw, despite the price coming down, a lot of catalysts happening in this last, 5 months of 2024. You saw KRC20s come out, you saw KRI form, you saw Kraken launch Casper, you saw an ETP with Casper, you saw Donald Trump get elected. There are so many major catalysts happening here. In this so-called part of 2025 so far, these 8 months or so, you've seen some big announcements. You've seen, Casplex testnet, IGRA close to relaunching their testnet now. I think they're getting the testing phase right now. You've seen 10BPS come out, which is fantastic. 10BPS was here. Fantastic. You saw Liberation Day, you saw hacks, you saw a lot of things happening. My point being is I think the most significant developments for Casper that, would generate more FOMO and belief in the project, 10BPS, which did do well before, the market pullback, but also the smart contract, all the big stuff, the things that would kind of get Casper the demand it need, is happening in the last part of the cycle. And I think a lot of us did agree, and I did see it in my community at one point, that most of us had to believe that Q4 is going to be that month for Casper anyways. Just based on the big catalysts coming out, the smart contracts, the KRI, the fact that then you'd have more time for the likes of the Casplex's mainnet smart contract to be, gain more traction. You might therefore see the stablecoins and tier 1 launch in Q1 and Q4 as well. Think about what could happen in Q4 but I guess all of it's potential, but some of it also has had kind of guarantees. KRI launching ZTEX, Gigawatt, and Warp Core. Those are basically guarantees to happen in Q4. IGRA have, stated with chest that they want to launch their mainnet in Q4. So that hopefully will happen as well. So those are 4 major projects, 2 of them being enterprise projects as well, that are coming out in Q4. Then you'll have likely some rate cuts by that point as well, which could be very, very good. Market being in a better position as well, which is, for me, also a very strong possibility. And then you've got the speculative ones, which for me are also, I think, good possibilities, being a tier 1 listing from maybe Binance or OKX, or a tier 1 listing, at least one of them, in Q4 if the market's doing a lot better, and a stablecoin launch. Not native, more so bridged over, like a USDC bridged onto Casplex Casper. If you have all the developments taking place in Q4, all that FOMO coming in at one point, and at that point you have the Clarity Act Path 3 giving Casper more regulatory certainty around the project being a commodity and therefore less regulatory scrutiny. Retail coming back in full force again. And if Binance want to list them as well, think about the FOMO that can drive for an asset. And again, you've looked at how projects can quickly rally in value. In this particular instance here, from 37 bill market cap from Cardano in the 19th of July, August, September, 2 months, if that. Less than 2 months, you saw it go from 37, up to 93. And that seems only like a 3x or slightly under a 3x, but you've got to think about the amount of capital that got added from 37 to 93. You're looking at 56, 57 bill. I'm trying to do math in my head quickly. Yeah. Wow, 56. Yeah, 56 billion added. That's a lot of money added to a project. While only on the grand scale of things, only a 2.5x or so, it is a lot of capital added. That if you had 56 bill added to Casper right now, that would put it at $2. So again, it's just a matter of perspective. I'm not here to sell false dreams or false hopes. I'm here just to purely try and spread information on what we had on hand. We're seeing more developments coming out to Casper that will definitely drive in more FOMO from the community members, and also the Bitcoin maxis who are getting involved as well. Bitcoin maxis taking notice of Casper more and more, increasingly. And the best thing is these Bitcoin maxis, and I think it's the biggest catalyst we actually have. Bitcoin maxis taking notice of Casper, right? That's a big deal. The big deal reason why, because Bitcoin maxis are Bitcoin maxis because they think Bitcoin's the best form of money. But it's not. Casper is better in terms of a medium of exchange. Bitcoin maxis are coming to Casper not because they want to utilize it as a store of value to hedge against Bitcoin, but because they want to see a proof of work that follows either the Bitcoin and uses properly. So Bitcoin maxis will definitely test Casper and use Casper for what it was intended to be used for. So you're seeing these developments coming on. That's going to be better for incentivizing more potential ways people in Bitcoin maxis can use Casper. use the platform, spend gas fees for Casper, and then seeing the ecosystem thrive more and more. You're seeing already how well it's doing, pre-Bitcoin Maxi, flooding in, and pre-mainnet launches, pre-Igra Labs, pre-tier ones also having bringing more adoption to Casper as well. I mentioned it in my stream yesterday. We had a 2.2 million follower Bitcoin Maxi and Lucky posting about a big Casper move is coming. Now, I do believe that. I do really believe that it's coming. And you've got what's happening in the United States right now that I think could also be a big catalyst for crypto. Again, say what you will about Trump, say what you will about the administration, what's happening. It's been happening too much in my community, honestly, and it's something I probably need to address. But say what you will about what's happening, their bullish stance on crypto is what's going to send us higher as well. And it's needed, honestly. You got the US dollar has lost 87% of its purchasing power since 1971. That's insane. That's absolutely nuts. It's almost unheard of. It's sickening, and that's why we need crypto. The stablecoin market cap has grown by 61 billion since January, and I believe currently it's in the 200s or so. I think when I looked at we were talking to my VIPs earlier today, it was at 240 as of June 2025, so 3 months back or 2 months back. So it's grown 4 times. It's grown a fourth of the total market cap, which is quite a lot. 25% of the total market of stablecoins has grown since the beginning of the year. It's insane. And that's, also we've really just had the passing of the Genius Act. Think about how much more it's going to grow when you have JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, UBS, Walmart, Amazon, all these big companies who are either launching their own stablecoins or jumping on blockchain to utilize transactions in stablecoins. And they're not going to be sending a couple hundred here and there. They're sending millions, billions, trillions of dollars a day. JP Morgan settles $10 trillion in payments a day. And that's with Swift. That's incumbent, expensive, slow, faulty systems. That 10 billion can easily jump to 30. Theoretically speaking. Stablecoins are a very, very big market. And the thing that we are still waiting for is regulatory clarity. We're going to see a lot more coming through with the Clarity Act passing and with the maturing nature and the growing confidence in these bills that have been passed. The Genius Act has just passed, but it's still very fresh, and the legislation, the framework's the whole infrastructure around it has not been properly built up just yet. It'll take, till 2027. So we've got a while still, but it's going to start continually gain momentum, and that will see more investment into the market. And if you want to know what's coming in regards to what institutions are looking at, what their plays are, where they're allocating their capital, how long they're going to take, which we know in our VIP, come check it out. Their game plan that we looked at today is a 5-year long one. Sounds like a long time, but we've been in Casper, talking Casper for a year. Doesn't feel like a year, honestly. It feels like a few months. What's 5 years? What is 5 years when you're, setting up for the future? That's how I look at it. In some other interesting news, also potentially the reason why the market's doing better today is that apparently Trump says he will be the one to appoint a new Federal Reserve governor and head of Bureau of Labor Statistics this week. Now, that will be interesting. The first one I think is fine. Second one will be interesting. That's also been a big debated topic in my community regarding the nature of the Fed reports, labor statistics, because apparently they are being manipulated and fabricated, which, again, I'm not actually going to make an opinion on it, whether it is the case or not. It's one person saying one, or one group of people saying one, and one saying the other. I'm under the impression they probably are being manipulated, but it might be that both parties are manipulating it. I don't know who to believe, and I honestly don't think I need to care too much or stress too much on the matter. Trump appointing a new Fed governor would be good in the sense of a Federal Reserve that will start cutting interest rates. Right now we have 2 that want to say yes, 9 that say no. With a new Fed governor coming that will align with Trump's beliefs, it would be 3 that says yes, 8 that says no, and therefore giving more power or more possibilities. So I've seen rate cuts would be great for the market. A new head of Bureau of Labour Statistics, that would be something else entirely. But having this week as well, so this week could potentially be a good one if both do happen, because of course that would mean investors start predicting to see some form of bullish moves off the back of, you know, this news, especially if the labour data comes back and is revised to end up being better than the current. What did we highlight? Or what did I highlight to my VIPs? We highlighted that it was at 73k, which, you know, it's 33,000 lower than expected, which is disastrous. And it got revived, and apparently, how much was removed? It was. So I'm just double checking right now. It got revised to where I can't even see now. It was 100 and. Sorry, I should really be showing this. Not that one. It's in my VIP. Oh, yeah, I'll come back full circle when I can find it. But again, I apologize. I'm not in the best place right now. But let me get some questions real quick before I get to more of the content right now, at least. Welcome back, Mila. Hope you're doing very, very well. Man, you see the Octa space is so early. The 10 biggest holders have only 5k. We could be 50 holders easy if you think early, have conviction on Octa. I do think Octa is an interesting project, but the thing is, from a logical perspective, while it's interesting and while what they're building seems to be very innovative and quite cool, their lack in listings is the shortcoming of Octa. There's a thing we talk about Casper itself. Casper is one of the, if not the most innovative project in this space. Now, it has got quite a fair number of listings, so it's fine. But if Casper only had Gate, Mexi, CoinEx, and Pancake Swap, if it had the same listing that Octa does have, my conviction in Casper, while I'm resounded, it would be lesser. Because I'm like, okay, well, Casper's a fantastic project, but it's got no marketing, no expansion, no adoption. That's my problem with Octa. Right now, it's my only problem with Octa. That it hasn't got any exchange listings. Not even KuCoin. Not even Pionex, not even BitGet, Bybit. I mean, some of the big exchanges, but it hasn't got some of, like, if you look at Casper right now, Casper has your Bybits, BitGets, Mexis, Gate, KuCoin, BingX, Kraken, Bitmart, Albank, XT, etc., etc. There's a whole plethora they have. Of course, need more big tier ones, but it's got some. You look at Octa, which I'm starting to think is a very interesting project. You look at Octa right now. Octa has Mexi, Gate, PancakeSwap, Uniswap, CoinEx. Like, it hasn't got any listings. That's all they have. That's literally all they have. And I do think the project's very cool. I do, but you're taking an increasingly heavier risk, because not just it's a 948 listed on CMC, it's a very small microcap. This is the thing, right? When you're investing into microcaps, you've got to analyze your risk to reward, right? Your ROI, your risk of investment. Because when you're looking at this, you have to understand that it's a microcap. So it's a very, very small project, therefore also meaning it has the possibility for even bigger gains. Octa, you know, based on its 16 mil market cap, if it reaches, you know, 100, let's just say 200 million, it has a good possibility, you know, I guess in theory, of reaching 200 million. That's a nice 12x from here. That's great for a microcap. But without any decently big exchange listings, it's going to be hard. Now, it's doing okay in regards to its connection to other projects, being your Qubit, which is right now, Qubit coin is getting a lot of traction right now, as Art0 has been highlighting. To your Casper recently, to your Zbcn as well recently. It's gaining that, but it needs some listings. That's my only downside to Octa. Now, I'm inclined to probably go on to the likes of Mexi or Gate or whatever it may be and just scoop up a very, very, very tiny portion of it in a hedge. You know, but again, it's really like it's tough right now. It's tough to be too convicted into Octa just because it's got no exchange listings. It's the same reason as I was told why the likes of Crypto Archie and why Crypto Galaxy, why they originally were speaking about Octa and they don't talk about it anymore. It hasn't got any exchange listings. It's tough. I do like the project from what I've seen so far, and I think what they're building is really, really cool. But if you haven't got listings, your accessibility to the retail market is harder even. We moon yet, not yet Ring Hong, but we're doing very well today, thankfully, up 6.76%. Hopefully we finish above 9 cents. That'd be a fantastic price to end above. And therefore, for me, we'll start seeing the move towards 10 cents and going up as well. If you could choose one asset, 100k of Bitcoin or 100k of gold? Bitcoin. 100k of Bitcoin, 100%. I mean, I'm guessing you mean dollars because it's not 100k of Bitcoin. Actually, no, you're lying. I'm lying. There's 21 million Bitcoin. 100k of Bitcoin, 100%. Like, gold is gold, cool, but like, and gold will always be a store of value, but Bitcoin is, for me, again, I could hold Bitcoin for the next 4 or 5 years. It's still definitely be relevant. I think Bitcoin reaches 1 million in the future, truth be told. So that's already, 1 million times 100k. Like, unfathomable wealth, realistically. So yeah, I'd say 1 million Bitcoin. I suppose if you have 100,000 gold's valued at 3,375 per ounce. Bitcoin's a lot higher. So yeah, I think I choose Bitcoin. Welcome back, Mila. Nice to catch the live stream and see you, DD, and all you guys here. Yes, definitely. I'm also appreciate all very much being here because I'm fairly sure actually I did clash with the blockchain banter crew Monday, and I do feel bad because I do love their work and I don't want to clash with them. I want to respect their times as well. They only go live basically. Well, they go live quite a lot, but they have their allocated blockchain banter Mondays basically, and I don't want to clash with them. Unfortunately, I had no choice today. I have some rumour that Quant will come to Casper on smart contracts. Yeah, I have been seeing stuff about that. And until it happens, I'll keep it as a speculation. It'll be interesting, though, because Quant are very closely aligned with the central bank, seemingly as well, ISO-compliant assets. So if they came to Casper, I'd argue that's a very big vote of confidence. Yeah, Art Zero was his name. Yeah, shout out to that man. Welcome back, Kryptoni, brother. Hope you're doing very, very well, my man. I'm having a great day so far. We are becoming a tight family here. Oh yeah, no doubt. The family is definitely, I'd argue, one of the strongest in the community. Hopefully continue building up more and more, and the family will start growing more as Casper grows as well, and hopefully they all will come to learn more about the space as well. No Zbcn updates and AOK Octa updates. Okay, well, I haven't provided too many Zbcn updates, so the one I actually had was this here, which actually is not really an update per se, it's just highlighting their silver card. I won't do it for you today, Kryptoni, although I did give some market analysis, but I gave no updates regarding the project. I'll make up making a video about it later, despite your beliefs. Sorry, brother. But I mean, Octa, I think Octa's not bad. It just needs more listings. Yeah, again, Octa it's not ready yet. I agree. It's not ready yet. Welcome back, KJI. Let's go, family, indeed. I think Crypto Ninja has fallen asleep behind his tractor. I sent him a PM for the Igor pre-sale 2 days ago, and I'm still waiting, Jay. Interesting. I messaged him today, actually. I sorted out mine. So what I'd recommend doing, I'm not sure where you message him, either do it on Telegram, and he'll get back to you, or open up a ticket in the Discord. In the Wolfie server in the Discord, open up a ticket and reach out to him and at him and explain the situation. What did I say? I'm just loading up. Obviously, I'm not going to leak my private messages to him in general. I reached out to him on Telegram actually. He is currently, I think he's in. He is. Oh, so I'm just trying to remember what time zone he's in. So, he is Chicago time zone, I think. I believe. But yeah, I just said, what's up? Hope you had a great day. I've been told to reach out to you regarding the IGRA pre-sale and the processing of payments. And he got back to me within like half an hour or so. Maybe because it's me. I'm not here trying to stroke my own ego or anything. But yeah, what I'd recommend, Gosu brother, is if you reach out to him on Telegram, maybe just give him a light. He's got to deal with all of this right now. He's the main front person for all of it. So maybe give him a light prod. Just say, hello, sorry, I know you're busy, but you never got back to me at all. So if you can, please just let me know. If not Telegram, then open up a ticket in the Discord community and can do it there as well. We think Casper is a commodity since they rule Bitcoin as a commodity low. I mean, yeah, by nature and by law, Casper is a commodity, 100%. Polygon, where's that? I'm kidding. I like Casper and Flow. I mean, yeah, Polygon was a big thing. I think it's fallen off quite a bit now. And yeah, Casper, I'm not too well versed with Flow, but I think Casper is no doubt a big thing. I think I have heard of Flow, but I'm not too well versed with them. 36 cents right now. 581 mil market cap. It's not too bad. It has chart's not the most appealing thing in the world. It's got some big listings. I'm not too well versed in it though. It's got a max supply, so immediately my perception of it is already kind of bad. I mean, proof of stakes always inherently have a max supply, and this is a personal bias. So again, don't take my word as a holy Bible. But I have seen many projects, aka Mantra, aka Luna, and more, that all have a similar correlation of having an infinite supply that have been rug pulled effectively. So I just tend to stay clear of infinite supply assets. And proof of stakes are all technically infinite supply, but at least they say they got a supply. Fine. It's saying infinite does tend to put me off a little bit personally. Hi Anthony, brother, hope you're doing very, very well, man. And you too, Nessie. Would you buy IGRA? I do have IGRA. I did get involved in the pre-sale through Wolfie. Because I do think IGRA's going to be. I think Casplex is going to be great. I think the smart contracts coming to Casper are going to be fantastic through Casplex, through IGRA, and I thought it was definitely worth just getting a bit of IGRA so I can partake in the ecosystem when the thing's live on the mainnet. So Texas House locks their doors and approves arrest warrants for Democrats who fled the state. Cool. So I'm maybe I've missed something. I mean, that is quite a serious deal, to say the least. I mean, again, I'm not. I'm not going to make any, like, I guess, direct comment on the matter, just because I don't want to talk too heavily on politics anywhere really. Which is, again, it's unfortunately a necessary evil. I think politics is evil. That might be the most controversial statement I'm going to say. I don't like politics. I actually hate politics. I loathe it. I think all politicians are corrupt, and I think all of them are greedy and have their own interests at heart. They care for nobody. I don't think any politicians have your interests at heart. That's what I believe. That's the most controversial thing I'm going to say. But in saying that, because I don't trust any politicians, any of them, not a single one, even one that say they've got your interests at heart, I don't believe them. Unfortunately, politics and crypto go hand in hand. Politics affect crypto. They affect financial markets, so I have to care about them enough to know what's going on. If I had a choice to not listen on politics, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. But because I do, I have to know. I look into it. But yeah, that's the most I'll comment on that, at least. That also, yeah, IGRA as well. You know, got people who are building IGRA, people who were part of DAG Labs as well, who originally built Casper. So again, it's cool. I'm gonna for sure get on that social network. I'm going to as well. I actually am. Like, once it's fully available, you know, again, I mean, it makes sense. Me being predominantly a Casper content creator, I should be on a Casper social media platform as well. Welcome, Farah. How much Casper do you guys all got? I mean, I don't personally disclose how much I have. People want to do so, they are welcome to. All I can say is I haven't got enough. And Daddy Chill, while I respect your opinion and belief of free speech, would you restrain from making comments such as that, because that could potentially get me banned? I'm not showing it on screen for a certain reason. Yeah, I don't want to get banned off YouTube. So just, yeah, say as you will, but just keep it respectful. Welcome, Mr. Miles, you're doing very, very well. And yes, as I was saying, not enough. Never enough, unfortunately. Next week, there would be €182 million lottery pot if I win it. Now, about 182 million into Casper, 2 billion Casper. Would it still be decentralized? No. Yes and no, because you bought it, over on the market, so it's fine. But right now, the allocation of Casper is in a very, very, you can see the top 1,000 addresses right now own 57%, top 10 17%, and that's mainly exchanges. If you have you buying 2 billion, which would equate to 26 billion supply, right? I'm not going to do the math in my head, I'm too tired. It's 1/13, whatever that is. I'm not going to do the maths. I'm too tired to do the maths. 1 divided by 13. So you'd have you yourself directly goes who would own 7%, 8% of the total supply of Casper. It's one thing when top 10 owns 17. Right now, the top address being Mexi's wallet owns 3%. You would have double what Mexi has, which is insane. So, in the sense, it would still be decentralized, but it would start becoming a more centralized project if one individual had so much. But I'm sure you know that anyway, so it's a joke question. Octa can do 1 billion with their tier 2 and tier 3 exchanges. I mean, if you believe Octa can 75x reach a 1 billion market cap just with their exchanges, then again, definitely worth the hedge then. I think Octa needs a few more listings. I think Octa's a good project. I think Octa has a lot of potential, but I think it needs a few more listings. Either your KuCoins or your XTs, just something more. It's got literally, I would argue, you got these. I would argue people use Mexi's a big one, Gate's a big one, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, decent, CoinX, not bad. You can see even volume here as well. Mexi and Gate are the big ones. Apparently, Coin Metro is not a bad one either. And we need to see more exchanges. I would like to see at least an XT. I don't trust XT, but I want more options. If it had at least one high, like if you look at exchanges right now, of course any tier ones would be fantastic. I would like, it's got Mexi, it's got Gate. I think KuCoin would be great for them. If they got KuCoin, that'd be a good sign as well. BingX also I think would be a big one as well. And Bitmart. Like if you can get some of these, you can look, pay attention to the trading volume. That's what I'm paying attention to right now. KuCoin, it's not big as Gate and Mexi, but it's got 1.3 bill. That's not bad. And it gets 2.6 mil weekly visits. Not bad at all. You could BingX. That's not a big one. So maybe not so much BingX, but look at Bitmart. Bitmart, 3 billion, 2.6 mil again. If you can get exchange with big volume and a lot of people who visit it, that would be a good chance for it to do well. So I think Octa has potential, but it needs a few more listings. Your XTs, your Bitmarts, your KuCoins, there are more out there. And of course, if it got some big ones like your Krakens and your Crypto.coms or your Binance even potentially, which I think is unlikely for the nature of the project, but if it got that, then yeah, to the moon type thing. During the end of last year or the beginning of this year, people were saying that this one would be a meme run. Well, and I know, and don't get me wrong, memes, that's because at the end of last year, memes did run. They run very, very well. And they run very, very well, in fact. And the meme bubble popped. And they're starting to come back a little bit right now, and I think memes will still do very well. This for me is going to be an all crypto cycle. And then you'll see, during the kind of supposed bear market, you'll see a cutting happened. But what I've been reading to my institutions, what I've been reading to my VIPs based on institutional sentiment, is this is not a meme run, this is a utility run. As regulatory clarity comes through and real world utility tokens have more value and more adoption and I guess more demand and use case, these are the assets that are going to really start taking over. That's why I'm still hedging my bets on Casper, because it's one of the best decentralized utility tokens out there. Utility will never be worthless, yeah. Yeah, I believe so as well. I completely believe so. And I've been saying that since last year, actually. Originally, when I first started streaming, I hated memes. Then I came to realize, actually, you know what? My hate for memes is probably a little bit too much warped on the idea that it's not is the furthest it could be from Casper, therefore it's just useless. But actually, there are value in memes. They're just very, very risky. Very risky. I partake in memes myself. I made my fair share of trades in them. I made it literally last week. We made a 10x and a 7x in the VIP community with 2 memes. And we also still do trades with future trading as well on there and much more. If you want to find out more, again, VIP. Links down below in the description on my homepage as well. But there is no way that memes is going to be the ruler of the markets. At least not anymore. Not anymore. I know, yeah, the purchasing power is ridiculous. You know, minimum wage cannot even cut a quarter of what people had back in 1972. It's ridiculous. You can't make it. That's why I always get quite frustrated when I've had a conversation with my nan about it, actually, where she said, you know, she'd given me her life advice, which of course, you know, listen with respect, she's your nan, of course. But I'm there thinking, with respect, nan, you have no idea. Because you know, you didn't have to. Well, actually, my nan was a housewife. Because my granddad was a spectacular. I think he was a. I know he was. He was a mechanic, and a tech coder for like model planes that I think was used in the war. Point being is, I had the conversation like with people of that generation, and they're like, "Oh, just hold and save and just put a down payment on a house." You can't do that. You physically can't. You don't make enough anymore minimum wage. You got to go above and beyond towards 17 jobs just to be able to afford a cup of coffee. Ridiculous. Yes, there is. It's this one. There's another one seemingly coming as well, but there's social media being built on Casper right now as well, which is very, very cool. Yeah, Crystal Ninja. I mean, he definitely. Of course, you've got. You've got hundreds of people who've signed up. If I look through the Wolfie announcement, they've been asked of like. Well, I don't even know. There's probably about 70 people on that list who have been added to reach out to Crypto Ninja. He's got a lot of people to deal with, so of course he's gonna struggle to. He will reach everyone. Your assets are safe. You know, you've pre-allocated them. Your assets are safe. So it's just a matter of time when he'll reply to you. But it's just it's a lot going on. But yeah, if you can reach out to him, then that'd be all good. Nacho, Nacho definitely one of the strongest KYCs out there as well. I think Nacho does a 5 bill. That would be insane if it does. Currently at 18.8 million, it's starting to go up a lot more, which is fantastic. So those who got in early, well played. One of the penalties of refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. I mean, yeah, I do know. I do know that much. I think I'm well versed enough in politics to have opinions on them. I just don't want to voice opinions on politics because I think politics is a very, very slippery slope. That's how I perceive it. I think no matter what you say in politics, it's basically impossible to. I have not ever witnessed people talk politics and it ends civilly. That's just my personal experience, and I've seen hundreds from the regular publics to friends, even friends of mine. You know, I have friends who have different political views. We never talk politics because if we do, we'll start punching each other. No, well, actually, probably would start doing that. Just don't bother talking about it. It's just such a slippery slope. So while I do agree that it does, I do partake in it. I do vote. I just don't voice, publicly what I do about politics. Like I did voice actually back during the US elections when they was all ongoing that during the time I personally during the time of, actually no, I didn't voice who I would have voted for between Kamala and Donald Trump, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, but I did state that Trump would have had a better immediate pump on the market, and Kamala Harris would have had a more lackluster one, but resulted in the exact same thing. I still believe that. Again, we don't know. That's all hindsight. But I mean, Bitcoin rose up to 110, 112k immediately off Trump's winning the election. And of course, then it had the whole downtrend, everything that happened, and now it's up where it's at right now. If Kamala Harris won, in my personal belief, you would have seen probably the markets not really do much. It might even have come down, to be told. Who knows? But it wouldn't have done much. And I think it would have started catching up probably around here. In fact, maybe not that long. It might have, because again, you've got to keep in mind it's the M2 money supply. Politics have an effect on the market, but it's not the be-all and end-all. I think you might have seen a delayed pump, and they might have caught up maybe around here, and eventually would have reached there anyways. Like I think Kamala would have just caught a delay cycle pump. Saying that though, all the policies coming out right now regarding the Clarity Act and the stablecoin bill, those are things that I don't think would have got passed so quickly under the Democratic administration. In that regard, though, I'm not going to talk more on politics because, again, it's just something I don't particularly want to talk about. I know nothing about Octa. It's a fair launch. I think. Let me just double check. Double just check real quick. Apparently it is. From what I remember reading. So yeah, I've got frequently asked questions here from Octa. So Octa is a fair launch project, meaning there are no pre-sales, no pre-allocations, VCs or ICOs. So there you go. So there, Octa is fair launch, which is of course what we like to hear. Couldn't agree more. Don't forget, and it's always and as always, that being said though, because that has now concluded the hour-long stream, I apologise again for my absence, and my ability to present right now is definitely not the all, light, jumpy, energetic Brit that you love taking the bullying nature out of. You love bullying me. I want to get back to being bullied again. And I know you all can do it. I know you all want to do it, and of course I would entertain it still, but I've not even been active for you to be able to do it. That's the problem right now. This week's going to be a difficult one for me. There probably won't be a stream tomorrow, truth be told, but I'll keep you all posted. I'll make an announcement in the Discord community either today or tomorrow, just kind of highlighting what's going on right now, and just bear with me, family. I apologise, but we'll be back to normal soon. And I do think, again, this week for Casper, and this month leading into September for Casper is going to start being a very, very big one. Octa was fair launch, and this caused exchange listings like Casper. I mean, yeah, I think Octa, again, Octa has good potential. I think it's got good potential. It just needs, again, more listings. Could Ninja's legit paying in UTC and all this weird activity in the wallet made me more suspicious? He is legit. I can understand some concerns about it, but Crypto Ninja's legit, definitely. At least from my perception. I mean, I have spoke to him, and he is one of the, I guess, frontline members for the Wolfie team, and I think Wolfie are definitely legit. I mean, I like they're trying to build a legitimate business from what I can see as well. So I would say yes, Crypto Ninja's legit. As long as you find the right person, which his @ on Telegram is his @ on Telegram is Crypto Ninja 75788. Yeah, I mean he yeah, again I'm saying yes, he is legit. Just make sure you're messaging the right one though. If you're messaging the wrong one, then he's not legit, But that being said, yes, family, if you enjoyed the stream, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto, about Casper, other opportunities to go to the space, check out the VIP, check out the free community. Equally, working on BYDFI, level up trading game. All information down below in the description. Have a great day, good evening, good night. I'll most likely see you on Wednesday, if not tomorrow. And I'll keep you posted. I'll make an announcement about it later today about what's going on right now. But yeah, don't be emotional, logical, and I'll see you all in the next one.